Okay, I'm taking advice questions. Anybody need any advice?
Well, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Is this your first time in Oklahoma?
It is my first time in Oklahoma, and I love it.
Yeah,
Who's from Oklahoma?
Is anybody actually from here?
You're from here?
Right.
You're very lucky. I like your city.
Yeah, this is my first time here.
Yeah.
I was chatting with one of our other guests earlier as we were walking around. We were walking around the city this morning, or the downtown area, and I was like, "This is one of the coolest cities that I got a chance to actually walk around
Right.
and check out." When you do conventions, do you at all get a chance to check out the city, or is it usually like airport, hotel, convention, hotel, airport?
It's different. Every time is different. It depends on how much time you have. Like, I always try it out. Each evening I try to go somewhere for dinner in a different area or neighborhood. So that's the only time we really have to see the city.
What'd you hit up last night?
The hotel.
Oh, the hotel. Any recommendations? Anybody so local here? Any place?
Where's the best spot to eat? Right here. You guys are from here. Must have a favorite restaurant, even if it's McDonald's. I don't care. Bricktown.
Somewhere in Bricktown.
Bricktown.
I heard
okay.
Mickey Mantle's place is pretty good.
There you go.
Oh, the brewery.
I'll take it. That's what we're doing tonight, guys. We're going to the brewery.
All of us together.
All of us. This gang.
Who's paying?
All 10 of us.
Yeah, so it's really cool to be able to travel and be able to do this. And for you, you're on set. It's action, you do your scene, cut, and then who knows how long it takes, in production, and then you don't really see or feel an impact from it. Now you might be able to see social media whenever the show comes out. But
TV's faster. They whip TV out quicker. A movie could take about a year to come out.
But when you get to come here to these conventions and you get to speak to the people that are moved or touched by your works, what is that feeling like?
For me, I didn't get into the convention scene until I started doing this show called Winona Earp. And I didn't know what it was like to do a convention. A lot of my friends weren't doing them. There was a time when actors, if you're working, you shouldn't do conventions because it looked down upon if you were doing convention. Then it all switched and convention got really cool. Now it's cool, for you guys to come to conventions, for us to come meet you guys. We all love doing them. But then when I got thrown into it, I didn't get that this was a whole world. Like the cosplay, I didn't know what a cosplay was until I started coming. And I didn't really know anybody was really watching anything I was doing.
Right. That's the thing. You go and you do your job, and then
you do your job and you move on to the next one, and you're happy to be working, but you don't see that anybody really cares, right? Until I started coming to these, and I'm like, "Oh, you actually saw the show? And they're like, you actually like it?" Or even the better part is like something you've done in the character or something you've done in an episode. It helped someone,
right? Yes.
Or and we don't get told that, and things that it blows my mind each time. Just meeting one person every day,
Right.
Like right now we got Brittany here, right? Hi. There you go. And I've met her 2-3 times now.
Canada.
Oh wow.
Canada, New York, and where you were in Oklahoma.
There you go. See, so a perfect example, and then you become like friends with people, and because you see them again and
you see them again and again, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of fun for us too. We get reunited with, each other, the cast, and the fans too.
So were you, when you were younger, you didn't attend comic conventions or anything?
No, we didn't have them. When I was young, we had to write a note, find the actor's agency.
Oh, right, the agency, yeah.
Mail it, and then hope they even got it. And then like 6 months or a year later, you open up the mail, and you're not even into the actor anymore. And you're getting an autographed photo, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy. And sometimes it wasn't even made out to you. It was made out to someone else. So that was conventions for us. But then social media changed everything.
Yes.
And it kind of just brought everybody together. You can contact anybody you want. You can DM anybody you want now.
Right.
And then, I think that's when conventions became, like, people started, they got cool, It's a cool thing to do now.
So had you been able to go to conventions when you were younger, what would have been that fandom? What was your fandom?
In this genre, like Sci-Fi and...
Sci-Fi.
The television show V.
V, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was.
You're probably we're in the same generation.
V came out in 1985.
Oh, you know your stuff.
I'm not going to answer that.
The movie
And then the
first.
movie. But so and you may remember.
Go for it.
The most memorable thing I remember.
Do you guys
of
know?
V-
Ever heard of V?
No.
You did?
Oh my gosh.
You do.
With
You're Gen X, I bet.
I can't
can't see
remember
you,
the
but-
character's name, but she ate the spiders.
Diana,
Yes. Oh my gosh. And
played by Jane Badler.
Yes,
I have her autograph.
I will see.
Mark Singer was Donovan.
Yes.
Faye Grant was Juliette Parrish. Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, was
Right.
Yeah, he's in it. Before he played Freddy, he was Willie. That was my show. Obviously, I still remember it all.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I loved.
Why aren't they here? I would have died still today if they had the V cast at Galaxy. I would have been. that would have been mine.
Have you had that moment where you fanboyed out at somebody at a convention?
At a well,
Or even how about even on set, like
On
like,
set's different.
Like you're going, like you're doing your job, but you're just like, oh man, that's so and so. I know I need to be a professional.
see, it's two different worlds. On set, you have to fake it. So I worked with an actor named Sam Rockwell, who is, you guys know him? Okay. Sam Rockwell. He was like my, it's fucking Sam Rockwell. He's my hero. And I got to do a movie with him called Mr. Right. But you can't be on set when you're going to do work. You can't be like, oh my God, so I've seen all your movies and I'm a big fan. You kind of have to hide it and be like, hey man, big fan of you. And that's it. Because if you show the other side,
Right.
then it changes the dynamic of doing the work, right? So if I'm doing a scene with him now, then we want to see each other just as workers.
Oh,
You
right.
know what I mean? So then I did a week working with him, and then Friday came around, and he kind of tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, Mikey, what are you doing tomorrow? And I said, inside. I'm like, why? And then outside, I'm like, nothing. And he's like, you want to go to a movie? And then inside, I'm like, you fucking asked me to go to a movie? My favorite actor. Outside, I'm like, I think I got time. I'll fit it in. So that's what it's like working at a convention. Then you can just freak out.
Right.
You can geek out all you want. So for me, today it's the wrestlers.
Right.
The
Oh,
WWE guys, right? Big Papa Pump, he was in the green room having a salad I saw yesterday, but I didn't want to bug him, even though I could, but I didn't. But I did a movie with Mick Foley.
Yeah, well,
so
you've done a ton of projects with wrestlers.
I worked with the WWE in the film division, so I grew up on wrestling. Right. I'm a big WWF to WWE guy. And so then when I started making movies with the WWE, I think I've done like 6 or 7 with them. So I called it collecting wrestlers to work with. So I did 2 Stone Cold movies, Kane.
See No Evil 2.
Yeah, that's with,
Right.
yeah, that's with
The Marine 3 with The Miz.
with The Miz. Then Big Show, Paul, we did a movie together. And Mick Foley. And so it was cool that he was here. And so I said hi, like a fan geek. And I was like, hey, Mick. He's like, Mikey, we did that movie together. I'm like, he didn't have to remember, you know. We had like 2 lines together in the movie, but it was cool that he's so cool. They're all so cool, all the rest of it.
And you have a movie. There's literally Cannes Film Festival is going on right now.
Yep.
And a movie with Chris Jericho.
Oh, I forgot about Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. I gotta add him to my wrestling list.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho.
Awesome guy.
Yeah. So that's literally playing in Cannes. I mean, maybe not like literally right now, but it's playing in Cannes right now.
It's being premiered there at the Film Market, and then we're at Fantasia Film Fest in Montreal.
That's awesome.
It's like a thriller, kind of horror fest.
Yeah.
And it's a thriller about professional wrestling. A lot of cool people in it. Yeah, it'll be a quirky one. You'll love it.
How did you get involved with WWE Films? Was it something your agent had reached out to
it's
them?
fluke.
Did they reach out?
There's nothing planned in this business. You don't get to plan your career. You get the roles you get, and then it kind of unfolds. So for me, I did a movie called The Call with Halle Berry. And I was a serial killer in it, hunting her down and trying to kill her, as I do. And I booked it, and then WWE came on maybe before we started shooting, a couple weeks before we started shooting it, as producers. And so
right. I
that
totally
was,
forgot that was
it
a
became a WWE production.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And then they always threw one of their guys in. So that one we had David Atunga. So I got to put him on my list. I forgot about David Atunga. And then that one led to this one or that one. And then they just, by the end of it, I probably did, 6 or 7. And then I think they stopped making movies, I think.
Right.
Or at least took a break or something.
But I still think that there are still a ton of movies out there that are being made by professional wrestlers. There's still a ton of wrestlers to collect.
Totally. They're
Kurt
busy.
Angle has been doing a ton of them.
Is he doing that?
Yes.
Okay, I got to work with him.
You gotta go
I gotta
collect
put him on my
collect
list.
Kurt like
I
a
didn't know he was doing
he's like a
that.
Pokemon, like just collecting wrestlers.
Well, we got The Rock working, and we got
course.
Cena's doing well. And the thing about the wrestler guys is they're so professional, like as wrestlers, that when they come onto a set, they work just as hard, and they try. So like none of them are divas. None of them are like the nicest people, because I think they come from that kind of like traveling background of show to show to show to show. That they come on a set and they're just the coolest guys.
Had you ever thought about
Being a wrestler?
being a wrestler? No.
Yeah, obviously. Maybe a manager. I could be a manager. No, I got to be in stage once during SummerSlam when we were promoting one of the films and with The Miz. I think it was one of the Marine ones. And I got to hold the belt in the ring, and the crowd just said, "Who are you?" And I was like, I better step away from the wrestling. And they put their bodies through a lot, so
Absolutely.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we have a part of the GalaxyCon family. We occasionally have what is called FSCW.
Yeah.
Would love to have you a part of it at
I
a
would do
future
that.
at a
That would be
future
fun.
GalaxyCon.
Sure.
Would be great to have you.
Like you do matches?
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be fun.
We'll have to
That could be fun.
get you involved.
Come up with a character. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Absolutely. Now, your path to your career, when did you realize that you wanted to be an actor or
that
in
moment?
entertainment? Yeah, that moment.
I remember the moment. I've told this story a few times. So I came from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, very similar to Oklahoma City. And it was just me and my mom and my brother. And we didn't have a lot of money. We were, my mom just worked really hard and tried to give us a life. And she was 5 years old, and she's like, "Do you want to go to a matinee?" And I didn't know what that was. And I was like, and then she opened up the newspaper and said, "Pick a movie." And I picked one with a dog. And we got on the bus, and we went, and it was walking into the theater was just like, back then theaters were theaters. Like, they're still theaters and they're cool, but back then they were like, everybody had a bow tie and he had a whole outfit and everything was red velvet and it was just really kind of classy, old school. And I was just blown away by the magic of, but I had no idea what was going on.
Right.
And then we sit down and the seats fold and then the curtains do this thing and they open up and this movie played and it just blew my mind. I didn't even know what happened. It was just like, whatever that is, I want to do that. But coming from Saskatoon, everyone kind of laughs at you and you're like, I'm going to be in a movie someday. And, but you can. Like, anybody can do anything. You just have to do it. And I didn't know how to get into it. I went to high school, tried out for plays, and never got a role. And finally found myself, I moved to Vancouver, Canada, so now I'm in my 20s, and I still haven't done anything yet. And started taking a few acting classes. Acting teachers said, you shouldn't be doing this. They told me to quit. They told me you're never gonna act. And I just kind of said, you're wrong. Because like, nobody can tell you what you wanna do. Right. And I just didn't believe them. I stopped taking acting classes because they totally scarred me. And I sort of just, I got an agent and then started doing auditions. And I used to throw up before every audition in the bathroom because I was so scared and terrified. And then I got my first job and I thought it was a fluke. And I got the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. And then 27 years later, you're just like, I'm still fluking it. You still feel like you're winging it and faking it, but everybody does. And any actor I've worked with, like the Halle Berrys or the Sam Rockwells, they're all insecure. They're all, not like they're confident people, but nobody has the answers. They're all doubting themselves. Everybody's the same. Everybody's scared and trying to figure it out in life.
Still
That's the answer.
trying to figure it out.
Still trying to figure it out. Nobody has the answers. And so you just do it. And so anybody in the audience who has a dream of doing something, just do it. You know, don't listen to anybody tell you that you can't. Because they don't know. Who are they? They don't, those teachers that used to tell me that I couldn't act, I'm like, you don't know. You don't know me.
Right.
You just don't like what I'm doing. But somebody might.
Right.
You know?
And obviously somebody did.
Well, we audition all the time, and we get rejected most of the time. And the ones that say yes are the ones that like what you did. So that just taught me a lesson of those acting teachers just didn't get it.
Right.
You know, so I just found people who did.
Right.
And yeah. And so that kind of started the path, was that movie that my mom took me to when I was 5. And that kind of, you know, I've been chasing that high since I was a kid.
Right. Well, that's the old saying, right? Like, there's 8 billion people on Earth. If 99% of people don't like you, there's still 8 million people that do.
1% is
Right?
a lot of people.
All right? Like, so, yeah, I mean, ever since I heard, like, that quote, like, I take that one
Yeah,
to
that's a good
to
way of
heart.
looking at it. We can apply that to dating, right?
Right. I mean,
That's
there's
what I'm saying.
there's 8 million fish in the sea.
Exactly. If they all hate you, there's still
There's-
1%.
So when folks ask you about career advice and if they should go to acting school or how they get started, obviously you had, you know,
Everybody
a
has
different way about it.
Yeah, everyone's got their own path. There's no rules. There's no way to do it. There's a way that the business works. You need an agent. They're going to send you on auditions, and then you have to book them. That you can't change. But the way to go about getting to that point, getting an agent, there's no way. There's no right way, wrong way. If you don't know if you like acting, but you've always wanted to be an actor, then take a class. See if you even like it. And my advice would be, you have to really like. If you don't like doing this, then don't do it. You know, do what you want to do. Because most of the time, you're not at conventions like this. It's not premieres and red carpets and razzle dazzle. That's like,
I met a lot of people.
very few moments where that happens.
I met a lot of people who say they are professional auditioners,
Yeah.
and every once in a while they get to act.
Yeah, you get to act, and then you get to come out and do a convention or promote the movie. Like, they don't even do premieres anymore for movies, because it's all changing now, right? It's all we're streaming movies now, and so kind of the fun perks of the business have changed. So you have to really love the work. And this is all I know how to do. This is all I've wanted to do since that matinee when I was 5.
Do you remember what movie it was?
Lassie Returns. Yeah, Lassie Returns. I'll never forget it. Yeah, that started everything. But everybody told me that laughed at me or told me I couldn't do it, or now you're trying to do it and still being told, you can't do it. But then I found my agent, and she said no to me for 6 months. She was like, kept hearing she's the best agent in town. So this kid from the prairies who has no experience, no training, no education, who's being told not even to do it. It took 6 months for my agent to say yes, and that's just because I sent her gifts every month until she felt guilty and had to say yes, and she did. And it's been 26 years of working, so.
Now you said your genre of choice is that sci-fi genre. So you actually got to you worked on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Is that like? Can you tell me about that more? Like, of course, being a sci-fi fan and working on a show like that.
I'll tell you a story about that show. When I got Battlestar, you guys ever see that one? Like a cool show, right? When I got it, it was a movie. It was just a movie. I was told it was a 2-hour movie. That's it. There was no going on to do a series for 5 years, and it's just a movie. And my character kind of just disappears towards the end. He has no final scene or anything. And so then I read the script, and I was like, well, who's this guy who dies? He seals a duct and saves 250 people, and then he burns to death. And the producers were like, oh, he's just some guy. I'm like, well, can I do that? And so the producers were like, you want to die? I'm like, well, yeah. Then my character has a full arc, and he dies a hero. And then you don't have to hire another actor to do it because I'm already here. And then they're like, you want us to kill you off? I'm like, well, it's a movie. I'm like, who cares? And they're like, okay, yeah, you can be the guy that saves everybody and dies. So I did. Then the show gets picked up and goes on for 5 years, and all my friends do 5 years of this show and make a shitload of money. And they all look at me like, oh, Mike, you asked to be killed off? I'm like, I didn't know it was gonna be a TV show for 5 years. But, so I was known as the guy who asked to be killed off of Battlestar Galactica, which is true. But if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have done this or that, or those WWE movies, or the Halle Berry thing, which led to this, and it put me on the road that I'm on now. So even in retrospect, even though it was sounding like a bad idea at the time, it led to the path I'm on now, which I much prefer than if I stayed on and did 5 years of that show. The money would have been better if I stayed on. But it's weird. The little choices you make kind of put you on the course you're on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, there's the whether you do or you don't, it's always the right choice, right? That's,
Yeah.
we're getting very philosophical
we're getting
here.
philosophical. I knew it'd go
This
down
morning.
this way. It always does. But it's only in retrospect you can see how things make sense.
Right.
Right? And that applies to everything, I think. Not just work life, friends, whatever, social life. It's only later when you look back, you're like, oh, that's why that happened. Then it makes sense. That's how I see life.
And then with, again, doing Battlestar Galactica, and then, in another universe, the DC universe, you've done Gotham, Arrow,
Oh, yeah.
Smallville. Is there,
Stories about all those that are weird stories about them all. Gotham.
so working in the DC universe, that, and
Yeah, I guess it was DC, nothing in Marvel, huh?
Nope.
I guess I'm a DC guy, great. Yeah, those were fun though.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved Smallville and Arrow and...
were you a DC fan? Were you a comic book fan or anything growing up as well?
I'm trying to think back, yeah, I think I was into DC comic books. I don't think I was a Marvel. I had a friend who was the Iron Man guy, and he was, I guess I was doing, I still have my Batman comic books back home in Saskatoon in a cupboard somewhere. They're probably worth something maybe. But yeah, I wasn't a big comic book guy, but it was DC.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there other, obviously I think we know the answer, but are there, jobs that you would like to, whether it is Marvel, whether it is Star Trek, whether it is Star Wars, like, is there one that you're like,
oh boy,
man, this is the pinnacle?
The one that I would like,
Yeah.
Geez, they would all be fun. Star Trek would, they brought back V, so in that little pocket there where they redid V.
Mm-hmm.
I tried out for that twice, and I didn't get on the show. And I was bummed at the time, but it wasn't that good. It didn't have the same vibe as the old V. But today, Star Trek would be amazing. Just to, red. I'd like to wear the red shirt on Star Trek.
See?
And then go, can I get killed?
Say it, volunteering to get yourself killed.
Can I just come on the show to get killed? I would love to be that guy. The Last of Us. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one. I auditioned for that 3 weeks ago. Didn't get it.
Are you a gamer?
I'm not a huge gamer. I used to be when I was growing up with my brother. Yeah, that's interesting. I read for the new Far Cry. I didn't get it. I don't think. See, that's the life. You try up.
Professional auditioner.
And I'm friends with Stephen Ogg, who he was the Grand Theft Auto character. What's his name? Anybody play that one? No. Yeah. So the business is changing. There's a lot going into and then there's AI. That's gonna change everything. But it's gonna be amazing for games.
I think so.
Amazing. It's gonna kill
I think so.
the real life actor.
Well, yeah.
But years from now, we got time. We got time. But yeah, Last of Us, that would be cool to be on. Yeah. Yeah, that one stands out. Yeah, but Star Trek would be cool.
I think so.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to chat with any of our Star Trek guests here at
Not yet.
Galaxy?
Not yet.
Oh, we got a bunch of them.
Oh yeah?
You got a bunch of
They
them.
can hire me?
They-
You got the
they-
bosses here?
Maybe
Maybe I can audition and
I don't think we have the bosses. But yeah, so we have a ton of those here. By the way, does anybody here have any questions? I know we want to, if we want to open it up. But another, so you do find yourself in some of these gritty type roles.
Never started that way. I started in comedy. The first years of my career were all comedy. And I loved doing comedy. And then I got to a point where I remember sending my agent a text, I'm not doing comedy anymore. I feel like a clown. I'm only doing serious acting work now. And she's like, well, that's a different. I'm like, I want to be a serious actor. I want to do dark. And then it's just been dark stuff for the last 15 years, which is fun. But it's been just a lot of dark, which is fun. I love doing those roles. I find them fun to do.
Now, as you said, you volunteered to get yourself killed, and you've obviously done some other roles. Do you have a favorite, like a death scene?
Oh, I've done many. My theory is when you get in this business, you die a lot. Then you go through the phase of trying to stop the guys who are killing, and then you become the guys who do the killing. And then it goes full circle and you start dying again. But my favorite death, oh gosh, there's been a few. I did a movie with Liam Neeson called Cold Pursuit, and he beats me to death in a van, just punches me to death. That was fun. He's a cool guy. Story about that, like he basically seriously just punches me, and he's huge. He's like 6'5". I didn't know that. And I want to make it look real, and so when he's fake punching me, I'm like throwing my head into the back of the wall.
Right, which hurts worse than actually getting punched.
And he's like, Michael, he's like, it's just acting. You don't have to do it for real. And I'm like, I want it to look good, man. He's like, I was like you when I was young. Your neck starts to hurt. And I was like, I still want to make good. And he's like, okay. So that one's fun, because it was Liam Neeson, and it's just being punched to death. That was fun. Oh, gosh. I did a movie called The Divide, which is a really cool movie. It's with Michael Biehn from Terminator and Tombstone and The Abyss, and Milo Ventimiglia, Rosanna Arquette, and it's like 7 people in a bomb shelter at the end of the world, and we all just turn on each other. That one was cool. I got my neck slit with a can of beans, like a bean lid. Deaths are fun. Killing people is more fun, though. Yeah, I like doing that.
You have a favorite way that you
have like to kill people?
That you have killed?
I knew you were going to ask that. Favorite way to kill someone.
And does it keep you awake at night thinking,
well,
like, if I could do this?
There's one that's popped in my head, but I don't know if it's like, is this recorded? On that movie, The Divide, I killed Rosanna Arquette in a sexual way. We did it too many times. She just died.
That's a good
right?
way to go out.
And my line when they find her body is, I just say, well, she broke. That's a good murder.
That is, yes.
See how dark it went?
Right.
That's been my life.
But also,
it's been my
comedy.
Life. I should never have killed myself off of Battlestar Galactica. Damn it.
You have a question?
So my wife and I know you best from Winona. You did really amazing work.
Thanks, man.
And just was curious. I know he asked a similar question to this, but do you have a particular role that you could see yourself in?
That I haven't played?
Yeah, that you haven't played,
gosh.
like from your favorite book or like from whatever.
Oh, that's a great question, man. So like a dream role.
Dream role.
Yeah. Who's laughing? It's stuff I don't know if anybody else would be interested in. I'm Canadian, so I'm going to start with that. And we have a famous folk singer named Gordon Lightfoot. Really depressing folk music. I would love to play him. That'd be my biopic. That would be cool. I'd also like to tell the Errol Flynn life story. Because that's dark. There's a dark guy. The sword fighting, That'd be fun. Those would be my 2 dream ones. As far as like, you know, playing people. But yeah, I think that. I can't think of anything else. I just like working, you know. Any role that I'm playing in the moment, that's my dream role at the moment, right? Trying to make that as good or as interesting as possible. But yeah, it's endless. There's so many great roles. You know, okay, you know, I would like to take a shot at the Joker. I would like to do that. That's like a, what version? There's different versions? What do you mean?
Well, he's did it one way.
Oh no, a new way. 'Cause you can't play it like my favorite Joker is Heath Ledger. They're all great, right? For me, that's when it shifted. Well, you know, we're getting dark now. This is getting good. And what he did, like, it was in him. Like I was looking, where are you, man? Like, you're gone. And only a few actors like Daniel Day-Lewis can do that. Like, you can change your look. It may not look like you, but the energy or the essence of the actor's still there. Like, Sean Penn's brilliant. But I can still see Sean Penn, right? But that's his style. Then there's these guys that their eyes change, their energy changed, they're gone. And Heath did that in the Joker. And I was like, and then like Joaquin, great Joker. But I can still see there's Joaquin in there, but that was his style on it, and it fucking works for his. Jared Leto. That was his take on it. Good job. I would take my shot at it. I have a version that's I don't think I've seen. You know, it's a more old school. You know, just that old like spiky hair. You know, skinny. You know, skinny suit. Go back to the traditional, just psycho. Like, that guy's a bad dude. Like, he's a sociopath, narcissist, right? Which, you know, we've seen some layers of, but just, like, this kid does, I mean, Joker does everything wrong. Like, I'm sure he's a pedophile. I think he's a serial killer. I think he chops people up, and like, show that version. Like, he's just the worst. He's probably the best villain that any actor would want to play. But I would like to do a really just psycho, dark, bloody version of the Joker, you know?
Thank you. I could totally see
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
How you doing?
Great.
Good. And so I just wanted to know what inspires you.
In life,
Yes.
people,
Okay.
Yeah,
What kind of people?
all people, good people. I think over time now, we're in 2024, it's getting, you know, kind of dark out there. There's a lot going on. You know, I'm finding myself scrolling too much, you know, wasting those hours, but I find those one clips, those videos of people doing good things,
Yeah.
you know, for other people or just something. So those inspire me to, you know,
Yeah.
anything that gives you that little, you know, the tingles or the, you know, the goosebumps. That's what I consider inspiring. Or and then in work, in acting, other actors, they inspire me. But in life, I'm just looking for goodness and truth. Truth. Let's go with that.
Truth.
And
I like
peace.
that.
Just good people, you know.
Well, we all have good and dark inside of us.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I find inspiring.
Thank you.
Good question.
Hello.
Hello.
You doing?
Good,
Hi,
how are
I'm
you?
Alex. I too know you from Winona Earp, and Bobo is a very complex character.
I think so.
So for you as an actor, before you like get into character, like any of your characters, what do you do to get yourself into that headset and to bring the most out of your characters?
Good question. And each time's different. Sometimes you approach it this way. Sometimes you don't have to, and it's a different way. With Bobo, it was all about. It was weird because I'm more about the script and the intensity and what the person's thinking about. With Bobo, you didn't even have to do that. It was more it was the coat. Like, I didn't know how to play Bobo yet. I knew he had a mohawk and he was kind of be gruff and, you know, which I've done a million times. But I didn't know how to play him, you know. And then we're on set. I still don't know how to play him. And then I put that 40-pound fur coat on, and it's heavy. And then it kind of changed your shoulders. And I was like, oh, that's Bobo. Now he's just like, and it changes the way you talk. It definitely changes the way you walk. And then you're just kind of, oh, there he is. It's that coat. Every time I would show up on set, I'd be Mikey. But then they put that coat on. I'm like, oh, now I know how to say my lines. In the hotel, I'm like, I'm Bobo, and I'm going to say it like this. And it's like, that's dumb. And then you put the coat on, it's like, oh, now I'm Bobo. And you just knew how to do it.
That's your cue, right?
Yeah, it was the coat. So that one was the clothes. On a different one, like let's say the call, the Halle Berry thing, he was like very clean cut, you know, shaven, combed hair. And that one was just, I remember the first day we were walking around, I kidnapped a girl in a mall, Abigail Breslin, and I threw her in the trunk of my car. It's a comedy, obviously.
Comedy.
Scalp blonde girls. And I just went for a walk in the mall as my guy. And I kind of like started just like being a weirdo, like looking at young girls in the mall and just kind of like getting too close to them while they were sitting at the food court. I'm like, oh, there he is. He's kind of like a spider. Like he's like, whenever they're not looking at you, that's when you move, right? And then they look and or they're gonna step on you, right? So I was like, oh. So I found him by creeping people out at the mall. And then they called the security at the mall and they were like, we have a weirdo guy. And then the movie producer was like, no, that's our actor, and he wandered off. And so they're like, you can't leave set, Mike. I'm like, I had to go find my character. So they're like, yeah, so everybody watch Mike, don't let him wander off anymore. So that one was me just kind of like walking around and feeling the guy. Each time's different. Sometimes it's just you know, it's just this guy. And those are the hard ones, you know, just being normal, you know. Yeah, but each time's different. And that's kind of the fun part, is how are you gonna find it this time, you know?
I can only imagine the different character that you need to play.
Well, the hard part is when it's done, then letting it go. That's an interesting thing. Like before I was an actor, I was like a dork, right? I didn't dress like this. I didn't have rings and bracelets. This was a guy I did Norman in Blood Ties. I don't know if he was another sci-fi show. I played a demon kind of guy, and he was very goth. And then I was like, oh, kind of like that. And so the show's done now. I'm stealing that. And then I played another guy, and like maybe it was Bobo, and I cut my hair like into a kind of a mohawky kind of thing. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. It makes me feel. And then, you know, whether it's, I wore red shoes in a thing, and I was like, okay. And then I just kind of like stole bits and pieces of characters that I wouldn't let go and brought them into who I am today. But not the bad qualities. I don't put girls in my trunk and do the bad things. Take the good stuff. And that's and then you just kind of adapt into this blob of different characters that I've played. I don't even know who I am anymore. I'm still the guy who killed himself off Battlestar, though. Yeah.
Cool
Yeah.
guy.
Thank you.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, man.
I'm Louie. Nice to meet you.
Louis?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
If you were to play Joker, who would be your Harley Quinn?
Oh, boy. In my Joker, I don't think in my Joker there would be a Harley Quinn. Because there's like a version of, she was an anal Joker, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Is that true? I don't know much about so I don't know if I think my Joker would have done horrible things to her. Like, I don't think he would have a Harley Quinn. I think my Joker would work alone, you know? Definitely he wouldn't be in love with some girl. Yeah. It would be a very toxic relationship, which they do have a toxic relationship, but I don't see a Harley Quinn in my Joker.
No.
Yeah. She'd be in the freezer. Or in the trunk.
That's where she'd be. Hello. All right, we got time for one last question.
Hi, Michael. I'm
Hello.
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Nice to see you.
Oh, Alex.
Yes, it's me. Hi.
I see you now.
Yes. Okay, so I have a question. You have done comedies and dark movies and other things like that. What is a genre that you haven't done yet?
That's a good question.
that you
I've
would
done
like to do?
comedy, I've done drama. You know, I would really like to just do like a romantic comedy. Not like I remember comedy, like a comedy, but like a romantic drama.
Cutesy romantic drama.
Like a Hallmark Christmas
Nope,
movie?
nope. Trust me, they shoot so much Hallmark in Vancouver, and yeah, I don't see my future them giving me. Mike's coming to save the local Christmas shop girl and make candy apples, and we're gonna fall in love. And
That's the movie that I want to see.
I'll adopt your kids, and I'll be the guy who's like hopped off a train, and I'm like, hey, where's Christmas? Where's the Christmas money I can take? But I've done 2 Hallmarks, but they were like, it was back in the day when Hallmark used to be a little darker.
Right.
It was like we did a period piece, like a Civil War piece, and it was like a racist soldier, and it was a Hallmark thing. And then one where I was a real asshole ad executive that only hired young people and fired old people from like those are my Hallmark guys. You know, and they like, well, would you could put on a suit and clean up, and I'm like, yeah, I could, but you're still gonna think I have problems when I play this guy. Because I have friends who do Hallmark, and they're like, and they do very well. Like, Hallmark pays great, but they're like, even if you're going through the hardest time in your life, you do it with a smile, you know, on a Hallmark movie. My kids just, you know, got taken away from me. They're smiling. You have to smile in the scene, you know. I can't do that. I can't do that. And if I do, it's gonna look like something's wrong with me. Like, what's he up to? Nothing. I'm actually the good guy. We don't trust him. Yeah. So back to your question. Yeah, I'd like my favorite movies are like romantic dramas. I love stories. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna switch out. Underdog stories. I love the underdog. You know, the Rudies, those down and out guy who has one of those. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
A bad guy who needs to rise up and find his identity, get some therapy, and help people.
Help take the woman out of the trunk.
Exactly.
On that note,
Maybe he becomes a cop, and he hunts down other serial killers because he knows how they think, and then he gets pulled back in. I don't know.
well, that's going to be our time. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Do you have any
Thanks, guys.
any last words?
No, just have a great time. This is what we're here for. Go walk up to your favorite people, and we love people coming to talk to us. You know, if you're scared to go talk to that person, don't. They love it. You know, just have fun.
And you going back to your table now?
Yeah, I'm going back to my table.
Fantastic.
That's
So
where you'll find me all day. Come say hi.
one more time, please give it up for Michael Eklund.